Good morning, Susie Jacobs. It is 11:07. So you know what we're doing? We're going to be unpacking some assumptions that can undermine our confidence, wreak havoc with our best laid plans, really undermine our goals, our dreams and desires. It's not quite 11:07, but I'm just taking you for a quick wander as I make my way down in Frog Hollow Park. It's one of my favourite little spots in Surrey Hills, and I thought I'd bring you along for today's session of 30 ways in 30 days. So give me a wave if you're around, you're grabbing a cup of tea, you're going to settle in and join the conversation. Here we are, and it's just a little bit of Surrey Hills history. This is where the Crims and the working class hung out. They destroyed all the terraces around here, kicked people out of their homes, sadly, and but created this little park, and it's called Frog Hollow. Good morning, Letitia, getting a cup of tea. Yeah, baby. Is it going to be peppermint, or do you like black tea? Okay, so as I said, Susie Jacobs, Monday to Friday at 11:07 for 9 minutes. We unpack some of the assumptions and uncover some of our blind spots that can be holding us back. Ariella, hello my darling, do you have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee? Grab one, settle in for 9 minutes of unpacking assumptions, putting a spotlight on our blind spots, and for no other reason other than to challenge ourselves to think differently. Yeah, different times require different thinking. So here we are down at Frog Hollow in Surrey Hills. And today's day 7 of our 30 ways in 30 days. I can see a couple of extra people up there. Give me a wave, say hello, let me know you're out there. Cranberry and pomegranate tea. Ari, I love your style, my darling, well done. Okay, so unpacking our assumptions, thinking differently, giving you access to find something that you can work on today which gives you a greater sense of freedom, around your choices. And today's day 7, we're looking at the true source of overwhelm. And I'm working with lots of clients. I've been speaking to lots of clients via keynotes and in coaching and training sessions. There is a lot of overwhelm. But before we jump into that conversation, back to yesterday's conversation. So if you were with us yesterday, or you joined one of the watch parties at 9:07 last night, 7:07 this morning, you will know that we were talking about judgment and how it's not actually, it's unrealistic to expect that we will ever stop judging. That's a given. That's what we do as humans. It's part of our filtering system. The problem occurs when we judge our judgments as being true, when we agree with them. So if you were listening at any of those times yesterday and you were able to look at your judgments and ease up on yourself, right? Stop agreeing with those judgments and allow some curiosity to come in. Can you write in the feed, activation? Hello, Bronte. Day 7 assumptions. Good to have you on board. So if you looked at your judgments yesterday, because here's the thing, knowing stuff makes absolutely diddly squat difference, right? We know a whole bunch of shit. If it was easy as just knowing stuff, we'd sit at home and read, quite frankly. It's doing something with it. So you can feel yourself judging yourself around your friendships, what you're eating, what you're doing, the quality of work. You agree with that judgment that it's not good enough. And then as soon as you're in that space of judgment, you're giving yourself a hard time. But even worse, is that you stop allowing your curious mind to kick in. See, judgment and curiosity cannot exist at the same time. Activation! Love it, Tom. Okay, so activation, good on you. Judgment kills your curiosity. Those two things cannot exist in the same place. Bring some childlike awe and wonder to your life and allow your curiosity to take over. Life changes just by doing that, right? Okay, so what is the true source of overwhelm? I'm going to ask you first, How many choices do you think you make in any single day? Just give me a round number. Best guess. No judgment. Promise. What's your best guess? I'm waiting for you. I'm not going on until somebody gives me an answer. I can sit here a long time. Letitia, too many. Okay. Anyone else? Come on. Tom's still talking about judgment, yeah. How he judges himself personally and professionally and judging others. Ariella says 10,000. 10,000 choices. You're close. 35,000. 35,000 choices every day. Now, most of them, of course, we're making without even being conscious of them, which actually points us to one of our blind spots, one of our assumptions. Because we don't notice them, we don't think they're having an impact. Because our conscious brain is processing 40 bits of information per second, only 40. How many bits of information do you think our unconscious brain is processing in that same time? So while our conscious brain processes 40 bits, our unconscious brain is processing 200 million bits. 200 million bits of information. So all the choices that we're making which are going unnoticed, and all those choices are based on beliefs and values and evidence from the past and our experience of life, we ignore all of that stuff being processed by our unconscious mind, and we favor the information being processed by our conscious mind. So let me ask you this. Which part of your mind has the power of balance? The balance of power. The balance of power. Which part of your brain has the balance of power? If one is doing 200 million bits of information per second and your conscious brain is only doing 40, it's your unconscious, it's your subconscious. So now imagine that here we are having the most seismic shift in the way we experience life. We're really being challenged. Just join the live feed saying hello. Hello! Right, there's a seismic shift. And we're experiencing life differently. And our conscious brain says to us, we're running as fast as we can to keep up. I don't have time to slow down and think about this stuff. But your conscious brain's only got 40 bits of information to process. It's our unconscious, our subconscious. Oh, Joe Carabin, love you. I'm so glad you're here. We've talked about judgment already, Joe. Now we're talking about the true source of overwhelm and the balance of power between our subconscious and our conscious brain, and the fact that we ignore our subconscious because our conscious is what's most available to us and right here. But really it's our subconscious that is doing the majority of the heavy lifting. So, again, let's take some curiosity to this, right? Imagine if it's not our conscious brain we need to pay attention to, but our subconscious brain. What would we need to do? What would actually serve us so that we could get ourselves out of overwhelm? Good timing then. You're always good timing, Joe. You turn up for a drink, good timing. Turn up here, good timing. Okay, I want to talk to you about the way we train ourselves, okay? So give me a wave if you do yoga, meditation, go to the gym. You do some sort of physical or mindfulness training. Give me a wave if you do that. Yeah? Good timing. Come on, somebody, give me a wave. Give me a wave. Some of you must do yoga, right? Or mindfulness, or go to the gym. Yes. Thank you, Letitia. Okay. So wouldn't it be great if we just read the book about going to the gym and then we were miraculously fit and healthy and amazing? Not. As I said, knowing means diddly squat. You got to do something about it. So if you want to train your brain to think differently, it takes your attention. Tom, he does boot camp. Oh, he's a serious yoga. He goes running. Okay, so imagine, Tom, if you, instead of doing boot camp yoga or running, you chose to learn how to play tennis. your level of attention to being able to play tennis would be at a far higher level than what you do when you go to boot camp. It requires your attention. You need to give thought to it. So when we look to think differently, when we look to raise our emotional awareness and our self-awareness, when we look to overcome and to find new ways of approaching overwhelm, knowing it, put that aside. It's experiencing it. It's doing something about it. It's about being uncomfortable. You see, if Tom goes from boot camp to tennis, he's going to feel uncomfortable as he goes through a massive growth stage, learning how to play tennis. In fact, this morning I was out surfing, and I have been learning to surf for the past 2 years, but I don't actually get into the surf often enough to really ramp up my level of expertise in the surf, right? So that can be frustrating, but the frustration will be easily dealt with if I make it a priority and get into the surf more often. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So Tom goes from boot camp to tennis. I go and say, I want to go from running the beach to surfing the beach. If it's something I truly desire to do, I really want to elevate my expertise and my skill level, it takes my attention. And it takes me doing something. Yeah? So, train your brain to think differently. The true source of overwhelm is not your conscious brain, it is your unconscious brain. It is about thinking differently. And the first thing that you can do, start today, is go do our EQ swap. Have a look at what comes up in your assumptions and your blind spots. We get back to you. We let you know what is also going on for you. And then the next step would be to, if you're interested in the doing part, not just the knowing part, would be to apply for one of our September programs at Activator Academy, where we're training people to think differently. This is beyond EQ, this is beyond self-awareness. This is training your brain to think differently so you can fulfill the life of your dreams, to shine a spotlight on those blind spots and those assumptions so you can truly have that sense of fulfillment and freedom that we know so many of you aspire to. So on that note, I want to thank you very much for being here at 11:07 for 9 minutes of free online coaching and discussion. We'll be back here again tomorrow, not at Fred Hollow, somewhere else. But wherever I am, I hope that you will join me back here at 11:07 for 30 ways, 30 days, 9 minutes of give back, of thinking differently and testing some of your assumptions, shining a light on some of those blind spots. Have an awesome day out there. Please pass this on to the people that you love. Tell them to catch up on a watch party at 9:07 tonight or 7:07 tomorrow. And otherwise, 11:07 tomorrow. Have an awesome day out there. Bye-bye.